Hello and welcome here on Eurosport. This is the first of 81 transmissions we're going to have in the 1994 Formula One World Championship year. And what a year it'll be. Well, if we believe all the testing times, it's going to be very close indeed. But before we look at this year and a couple of new cars, let's have a look at last year. And the next 28 minutes is a film made in France about Alain Prost and his season in 1993, when of course he won his 4th World Championship. Won 7 races and the team won 10 in all. Well, we had highs and lows, and that was Derek Warwick's low when he shunted in the warm-up in Hockenheim. But 1993 was always going to be Alain Prost's season. Driving the Williams Renault with that powerful RS5 engine, and a season that started in South Africa. Well, Alain Prost.
Une saison fantastique sur le plan sportif, mais peut-être encore plus sur le plan humain. Et ça ne s'oublie pas, et ce sont des sentiments très très forts. Donc ce qu'on a réussi sur la piste, c'est bien, mais ce que l'on ne voit pas, ce que les gens ne voient pas en dehors, c'est aussi très très important.
Alain Prost came out of retirement, or temporary retirement. Left Ferrari at the end of 1991, sorry, of course. Then took 1992 off, was a television commentator for French TV station TF1, and then joined the Williams Renault team. And on the right, Frank Williams, and on the left, Renault Sport Director Christian Conson, and here the technical men, Bernard Dudo and Patrick Head. And of course, this is the car, the Williams FW15. Active suspension, banned in 1994. Electronic throttle, and a lot of electronic gizmos in that car. A very good and very quick Formula One car. Probably the best ever built. Although recent test times indicate that times this year are going to be even quicker than last year. And then a Formula One weekend starts for all 26 drivers. And we focus, of course, on Alain Prost and Damon Hill. And it usually starts on the Friday morning with setting up the car, finding out whether all the calculations you've made back at home in the workshop are all right. In the morning, 23 laps you can do, and after those 23 laps, well, that's what we call a debriefing. Talking to the engineers, and not only the engineers of the car, but also the engine engineers, tyre engineers, etc., etc. And Prost here, clearly not happy with the way things going on this particular Friday morning. So the whole team here at the circuit, all in all there's 200 people working at Williams Grand Prix Engineering, and another 140 back at Renault Sport. So let's say 340 people working to get those two cars to the front of the grid, and more important, first across the line on a Sunday afternoon. Well, says it all, Alain. Telemetry, computers, and the engineers can follow everything the car does on every inch of the circuit. And of course, there's also discussions with your teammate. Does your car do the same as mine? Opposition: McLaren, Benetton, Ferrari. They were the main opposition in 1993, and they'll be the main opposition in 1994. And of course, the big question then, will Alain Prost be in the Formula 1 car? More about that later on. Talking to Denis Chiffre, his Renault engine engineer, and he's going to do one more lap for him because they want to check a couple of things. And this is what you see in the pits. Whatever the engine's doing, they get a lot of information back in the pits regarding engine revs, temperature, speed, fuel consumption, all the vital things. And then there's time between the untimed session in the morning, and then there's the official qualifying session. It's from 1 to 2. You've got 60 minutes and 12 laps to do it in. The mechanics and engineers getting the car ready, and then it's those vital last minutes for maybe another vital pole position. Then of course, after qualifying, it's all the hard work that's gone into Friday, Saturday and also Sunday morning. And then it's up to Sunday afternoon. Another long, hard race, and there are 16 again this year, and there were 16 last year.
des mots. C'était un peu pour vous ce tour.
Vous n'avez pas été mauvais quand même.
Non, non, j'ai été bon.
Je dois dire, ce dernier cours, c'était un temps
Ouais, c'était juste le dernier tour. Avec le règlement des 12 tours, c'est pas évident parce que c'était ça ou rien, quoi. Mais moi, j'ai eu beaucoup de trafic avant.
On a regardé tous les temps intermédiaires, ils étaient tous bons. Sur chaque section, vous avez fait mieux que tout le monde. Enfin,
non, c'était un bon tour. De temps en
paisible.
temps. Hein pas paisible, non. Pas paisible.
Pas paisible.
Non.
Sunday morning, before the warm-up, and Alain Prost gets dressed.
Tu te sens comment? Un peu de pression? Ça va?
C'est difficile parce que première beaucoup d'inconnus.
Ouais.
C'est un peu difficile à
Gérer.
après quand la saison est partie, on connaît bien la voiture, les pneus, les machins. C'est la première fois avec les pneus étroits en plus. C'est chaud. C'est pas trop. C'est difficile à juger. Mais bon. Ça va aller, hein. Le départ, on a un peu de pression.
Ça part à droite ou à gauche?
And this is Alain Prost's first Grand Prix for Williams, and it's in South Africa. He's taken pole position from Ayrton Senna, but it's Senna who leads the way at the start, in front of Damon Hill and then Alain Prost. Second corner, Damon spins, Schumacher grabs second place and Prost is back into third. But not before long, it's Alain Prost who takes first place away from Ayrton Senna. Damon Hill doesn't have a very good debut for Williams in a Grand Prix. He crashes with Alessandro Zanardi. Finally, Alain Prost wins his Grand Prix. Ayrton Senna finishes second and Mark Blundell.
Pour moi, c'est un peu une libération parce que je crois que c'était un week-end peut-être avec la même pression que quand on joue un championnat du monde. C'est un peu pareil parce que là, bon, tout le monde nous regardait, beaucoup de pression sur les épaules. Et bon,
The champagne rain turned into real rain in South Africa, and by the time we got to Brazil, it was a wet race. Prost and Hill on the front row, but then it started to rain, and in the wet, Ayrton Senna is always something special. And Jean Alesi always spectacular. Tire stops and Alain Prost, well, he aquaplaned into Christian Fittipaldi's Minardi, and that let Ayrton Senna win his home Grand Prix.
c'est une déception, mais je crois qu'il faut justement essayer de passer outre et penser maintenant à la prochaine.
Damon Hill finished second and Schumacher third, and then Donington, another wet Grand Prix. And again, Ayrton Senna was in a class of his own. The Williams team making a lot of pit stops, and not all of them went right. Again, it was Damon Hill finishing second to Ayrton Senna. And Prost finally finishing in third place after being delayed in this pit stop. Because of this victory, Ayrton Senna was now 12 points in front of Alain Prost.
For us, finish third or fourth is nearly the same instead of being
winning. Yeah, that's right.
So anyway.
And the wrong guy wins again.
Yeah.
Well, the wrong guy becomes the right guy this year, David. So it's Imola then. Next stop on the calendar. And again, pole position for Alain Prost. Damon Hill alongside. And again, it's Damon who makes the best start. The track slippery, let's say damp, but not wet. Damon Hill leads. Ooh, misses his braking point here. And after Damon Hill retires, it's Ayrton Senna leading Alain Prost. And it's not easy to overtake Senna. But finally, Prost comes past and takes a victory in the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola. Schumacher second and Brundle third. And then it's all smiles.
Encore une belle victoire, parce que je crois que ça n'a pas été une course très facile. Il y avait Senna qui était quand même derrière, et il y a eu beaucoup d'embûches sur la piste avec beaucoup de gens à doubler dans un trafic épouvantable.
And that's talking about Barcelona, where Alain Prost again wins the Grand Prix. But Damon Hill retired while he was very close indeed.
Tu vois, quand j'ai passé Damon, j'étais bien.
Ouais.
Je peux dire qu'elle était fantastique la voiture, mais j'avais l'impression derrière c'est très difficile de rester, tu vois.
Ouais.
Bon, j'ai passé, bon ça va aller. Et là, elle s'est mise à sauter, mais d'une manière incroyable. C'était absolument détruit physiquement. Détruit. Elle saute pas, elle saute comme ça. Et surtout, dès que tu rentres dans le virage, elle saute comme ça. Tout le temps. Mais freinage, dans les petits freinages. Dès que tu mets un peu de G, dès que tu mets un peu de G, c'est pas du tout où tu vas.
Prochain Grand Prix, ça va être beaucoup plus grand.
Bon, enfin.
Bah, merci,
Bon,
hein.
merci.
Un de plus.
Tu voir, ok.
And then it's Monaco. Alain Prost on pole position, but the start of the Monaco Grand Prix, 78 laps around the streets, well, was a controversial one. Did he or did he not jump the start? Well, according to the stewards he did, so Prost got a stop and go penalty. Watch for yourself and be your own judge. That was how much Alain Prost moved. And then he got that stop and go penalty. Handed the lead over to Michael Schumacher, who retired, and Schumacher handed it over to Ayrton Senna, who won in front of Hill, Alesi, and Prost finished fourth in the end.
Moi je pense pas l'avoir volé, si tu veux, c'est évident. Je pense avoir fait un super départ, exactement au bon moment, si tu veux. Je pense pas l'avoir volé. En plus, là, je sais pas, je veux rien dire, tu vois, tellement ça m'a casse.
2 months later, history would repeat itself when Prost got another stop and go penalty. By the time we got to Hockenheim.
Just want to make the championship more interesting.
But this time Alain Prost got a 10-second penalty for trying to avoid the spinning Ligier of Martin Brundle. This time, however, Lady Luck run with Prost when Damon Hill retired on the last lap when the rear tyre blew. But before Hockenheim we had the Canadian Grand Prix Magny-Cours and a Grand Prix in Silverstone. All of those were won by Alain Prost on his way to his 4th title. Canada.
Congratulations, lovely. I hear you're driving. Use again, the revs again, we all fell asleep again. Congratulations.
Meilleur temps de toutes les séances d'essai, victoire, on reprend la tête du championnat, Senna ne finit pas, enfin c'est... Merci mon Dieu quoi.
French Grand Prix, Damon Hill was leading, but after the pit stops it was Alain Prost. Hill finished a close second. Then, of course, could he win the British Grand Prix? That's the question. And in Silverstone, we saw Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna battle away for second place. Damon Hill was long gone. Prost went past Senna and then went past Damon Hill. A blown engine and a very disappointed Damon Hill. So that's his 50th Grand Prix victory, well on his way to his 4th title. We all know about Germany, and then we went to Hungary. Damon Hill.
That's it, the first one in the bag.
Exactly, the first one for Damon Hill. Schumacher retired, Senna retired, and Alain Prost finished a long way back. But in Spa, everybody finished. And again, Damon Hill won a Grand Prix. His 2nd Grand Prix, and his 2nd in succession. And then, of course, Monza, where first Spa, where Renault, of course, and Williams won the Constructors' Championship, and the 50th victory for a Renault engine. And then we go to Monza. Alain Prost could win the World Championship here if he won the Grand Prix. And it all looked good for him. Damon got held up on the first corner by Ayrton Senna. Strong cars, those Williams.
Qu'ils arrivent à évacuer les voitures.
Non, bah Yves, il est pas là. Non, bah il est au tapis. Hein. C'est ça.
Non, il est là. Il est là.
Voilà.
Il est là, il est 7-8.
En face, il a rien eu, c'est un miracle.
Ouais, c'est un miracle. Il est passé dans le sable.
But then Lady Luck rode with Damon Hill in Monza. 5 laps before the end of the race. It all looked to be Alain Prost, the world champion, until it went up in smoke. And a hat-trick for Damon Hill.
C'est le pire qui puisse arriver, quoi. Pas de points. Et bon, ça remet pas en cause le championnat, bien entendu, mais ça repousse de 15 jours. C'est pas très bon, quoi.
Well, Portugal then. Damon Hill at the start of the pack, and we saw Mika Häkkinen challenging for the lead, but forgot to look in his left mirror. And round the outside came Jean Alesi, who was leading a Grand Prix for Ferrari. Michael Schumacher drove a brilliant race to win his second Grand Prix, but Alain Prost's second place gave him the World Championship. Also, Alain Prost in Estoril said he was going to retire from Formula 1, but by the time this program goes to air, it's more a case of will he or won't he drive the McLaren Peugeot in 1994. Well, that was then. 199 Grand Prix at the end of the year, 52 victories for World Championships for Alain Prost.
Aujourd'hui, je pense un peu à toute ma carrière, quoi, mes 20 ans de compétition, et c'est un peu l'aboutissement. Mais l'aboutissement, c'est aussi ensemble de s'être retrouvé 10 ans après, d'avoir pu réussir ce qu'en sport on ne réussit jamais, quoi. C'est de se retrouver 10 ans après et de faire ce qu'on n'avait pas pu faire en 83. Et c'est une belle revanche. Je suis vraiment très content, en plus de finir ma carrière comme ça et avec vous.